Oh, I do want to preface, we have a good, impactful episode for y'all as usual, but the sun is starting to set and we got melanated skins. We want to make sure that we can get this episode in before the darkness comes. All right. But you said you were happy to be here, and I'm glad you said that exact sentence. We didn't rehearse this at all, but the theme for today, the topic is the pursuit of happiness. Yes, not vocals.
'Cause I'm happy.
If you feel like
what does he say there?
No one knows. Pharrell doesn't know what he says there. But again, we're gonna talk about pursuit of happiness. Some paradoxes that may be in the pursuit, or as you're trying to get it. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. All right, it's
oh yeah, right. Yeah, come on,
pull me back out. All right, but we're gonna talk about it. Some good stuff. Stay tuned. Get your notes. Make sure you like and share. We appreciate y'all. And without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, we're out.
All right, folks, make sure you grab something to drink too. We are sipping on Harmless Harvest, one of the, to me, the best coconut water ever.
They cool.
Look, but let me just brag on them real quick. First of all, they're not sponsoring us yet, but I'm manifesting this today here right now.
Yes, ma'am.
We were literally talking about this before the podcast started. It is so far the only coconut water, I'm not saying they're the only one that I have seen where if you look on the ingredients, it's only organic coconut water. Just saying.
That's it.
That's it. That's all it should be. But for a lot of other coconut waters, you look and there's like 12 ingredients. It's like, I just want coconut water, and this is good stuff.
Boom. So if y'all got other coconut waters or other like really healthy drinks that y'all think we should be rocking with, leave a comment, tag them, put it in the chat, whatever it is. That way we can diversify our palettes of amazing organic drinks. Substances?
Beverages.
Oh, all right, but let's dive into it. Today we're talking about happiness. And before we go into kind of the research and science, go to just talk about, do you think, why am I looking over there? Sinclair, do you think happiness is a choice?
I do think that happiness is a choice.
Okay. How do you choose happiness on a daily, on a weekly basis? What is that?
Before we even get into happiness, we're talking about happiness. What is happiness?
Okay, I got the exact definition here.
Do you?
All right. Let me see. The state. So happiness. It's gonna be levels here. Happiness is the state of being happy.
Why do they always do that?
I hate when they do that, but I don't have time to get into it. I hate when they do that. Now, the definition of happy: feeling or showing pleasure or contentment, having a sense of confidence in or satisfaction with, satisfied with the quality or standard of. All right. So again, I just want to read one more time. Having a sense of confidence in or satisfaction with. For me, I feel like it's interesting because when I think of happiness, I feel like it's an ideal, right? I think of happiness as way more than just content and satisfied, right? Satisfied seems like, that's cool, but it could have been better. I feel like there's nothing better than happy, at least how I'm like raised to see happiness. It's like, how are you? I'm happy, maybe ecstatic, but even I feel like ecstatic
that's the word that came to mind.
I feel like ecstatic is more like energized, excited,
yeah.
But I don't know. I just always felt like happy was like it. Like you want to strive to be happy in life, but then when you look at the definition, happy is really just contentment. Happy is really average. It's in the middle.
Right.
I feel like that was interesting to me.
Yeah, I feel like colloquially. Does that make sense?
That is a word.
Okay. I wanted to know if it made sense in this context. I believe colloquially we use happiness, like we put a higher like meaning to it than the textbook.
Right.
So I feel like there's probably a lot more people who are technically happy but they probably wouldn't like express that or say like I'm happy right now. If that makes sense.
It does. I mean, we see. Are we gonna get into it? So I feel like we in 2021 and probably since 1920s, to be honest, in history, we place our happiness and even our self-worth on the external values that we're able to get.
We do talk about that,
We do talk about this later.
but you can dive in now. We can recap later on.
Okay, but so like when we think about happiness, it's I want the house, I want the amazing job, I want the beautiful melanated curly haired wife, I want all these things, and that's what's going to
It's not a
make
bad one.
me stop. And that's what's going to make me happy. But again, I feel like I reference monks a lot. I don't know why.
Do you secretly want to be a monk
Maybe,
tomorrow?
maybe there's this like a part of me
Yeah,
that's like
something we need to talk about.
that lifestyle.
Mm.
I don't want to be a monk because they don't get GMGs. But I feel like monks and a lot of people in other like parts of the world, I would assume, are happy without the American material pursuits.
Right.
And I feel like that's why for us we see high rates of heart disease, high blood pressure, stress, anxiety, depression in America because America puts such a huge value on those material things that we don't need,
Need,
right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
don't need those to be happy. We don't need a mansion, we don't need a Bentley, we don't need Gucci drip down to my socks with my red bottoms and all that cool stuff that you hear in music videos. Like we don't need those things to be healthy or to be happy, but I feel like we pursue them for happiness, and if we
Right.
don't have them, we're not happy.
Yeah. And I feel like even as society continues to go, the idea of what you need to be happy continues to grow as well. So if
Mm,
you think about it, I learned this from you, I'm pretty sure. Like even the idea of like owning a home or living in a house with like the white picket fence or whatever, like that was only attainable for certain individuals, right?
mm,
That suburbs were built for veterans, correct?
right.
Yeah. Okay, learned that from him. See, I remember some things.
That's in LA specifically, but yes.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, like that wasn't even always attainable for everybody. But that's like now the one of the things that a lot of people, not everybody,
Mm,
but a lot of people think as something I need, when I have a family to be happy. So I think that's interesting too. That I feel like the threshold just continues to get higher and higher as
right.
technological advances go. As yeah, just we start to get a little bit more greedy. Yeah,
Agreed. So we kind of already fell into the rabbit hole of mindset.
we did.
So do you mind if we shift into like just fully dive in to mindset?
Let's do it.
All right. So Queen, in your opinion, that was a deep sigh. You okay? You ready? You got
Yeah,
this?
I was preparing to
To drop these nuggets.
nuggets, gems.
Ooh,
Mm.
organic gems.
Ding.
Oh, but to drop the nuggets on why mindset is important.
Yeah, so when I think happiness can be seen almost as a mindset.
Mm,
You talked about like an ideal, but I guess where I like to and kind of what I'm trying to um ingrain within myself is that happiness, it's not like a destination, right? So even when you think about the title Pursuit of Happiness, it's the pursuit is a journey, right?
mm.
The journey or of happiness.
First of all, you can finish this really quickly, but Jair, if you have that picture that was of me, Sinclair, and a surprise individual. If you can put that picture up, it should have been right after the intro. There's a picture there. Put it up when you can. Go ahead and finish the story.
um yeah, I think that I think happiness is a mindset, and I think that we kind of got into this earlier, but I think it's something that you choose. I'm going to choose to be happy rather than, I feel like for a lot of folks the mindset is I have to do this, I have to attain this, and
Mm,
then like almost like happiness will fall upon me,
mm,
rather than like it's like think like it's an action. It's something you have to actively cultivate
mm.
within yourself. And I
Within yourself is that I think that key piece.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I think that there are certain mindsets that are more likely to cultivate happiness than others.
Mm,
So we do have a graphic with the mindsets that cultivate. Oh, there! Hey, there's the picture.
Yeah. So if y'all don't know who this person is, and if you're watching on YouTube, you see it. If you're listening on the podcast, we appreciate y'all. We'll try to narrate it, and feel free to go over to YouTube. But we were in Tulsa for the 100th commemoration of Tulsa's massacre, and we got to see the last live
That's
speech
crazy.
that Chris Gardner will ever do. And this is the person whose life Pursuit of Happiness was built after. We got a signed book by him as well. And he was exiting, he was leaving. I kind of snuck over there. The queen was like, "Oh, picture for sure." Da, da,
I was having a full-on conversation. I did
da.
my spidey senses were
Oh
tingling.
yeah. It was a good little moment. I got in there and he was like, "Oh, it's just us." I was like, "No, the queen's there too." She's like, "Oh, let's put beautiful in the middle." I was like, "Yep."
That's what he's
And
laughing
then boom, got that beautiful moment, and my dad's there
in the
in the
back.
background, slightly blurred out. But continue on Pursuit of Happiness. We just wanted to show that cool little moment that we got to literally be connected to the person who created
The
the
pursuit of
meaning of
happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness, right?
Definitely, that was dope.
Yeah.
But we do have a graphic on the mindsets that cultivate happiness.
Cultivate, cultivate.
Okay, mindsets that
Listen, this is what happens when we do podcasts
at
at
night.
7 p.m.
Yes, mindsets that can influence happiness.
Yes, ma'am.
So I feel like the first one that comes to my mind is a growth versus fixed mindset.
Mhm.
So growth, we had a whole podcast. I don't know,
We
was
had a
it the whole
podcast on
podcast?
growth. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
a whole podcast on the growth mindset. So go check that out.
It was growth mindset slash turning your blessings into no,
Into
turning your losses into blessings, something like
something like that.
that.
So if you think about the difference between growth and fixed, we'll just briefly recap is the idea that you can literally grow, you can
Yeah.
change, you can evolve versus kind of like I am the way I am, then I'm not changing.
Right.
So like I feel like how that can influence happiness is I feel like it's probably easier to cultivate happiness with a growth mindset because if you feel like you're in lack, you are more likely to go out and get and get whatever you're missing. Whereas I feel like if you have a fixed mindset and you feel like you're in lack, you may kind of just sit in that like, dang,
Mm.
I'm not I'm not smart, I'm not beautiful, I'm not, and rather than trying to change your mindset, you may kind of sit in that a little bit.
Yeah. Two really quick things is one, I feel like it's also who has the power. I
Mhm.
feel like in a growth mindset, you are taking control.
Yeah,
You are taking the power and agency in your life, and you're saying, "No, I, maybe in this situation right now, but I have the power, I have the intelligence, I have the network to get myself out of it."
right.
Whereas fixed, you're just like, "I don't have the power."
And you rely on others.
And you rely on
And
others
if they
to do
don't
it.
come through, again, that's where the relying on external factors, now
Yeah.
your happiness is in someone else's hands.
Yep.
And you can't control any of anybody else, right?
Right.
Another mindset is like the pessimistic versus optimistic.
Hmm.
And this is something that I struggle with sometimes too. I feel like honestly, and this is something he's Mr. Optimism, goodness gracious.
To a fault.
To a fault, sometimes.
To a fault.
Sometimes. But I do find that my natural tendency is usually to go to the negative first. And I commend myself because now I'm at least able to catch myself. I think before I would do it and I wouldn't even realize that I'm being pessimistic right now.
Mm.
So right, step one is awareness. So at least now I catch myself like, why did you go directly to the bad thing that could happen, the worst case scenario?
Mm.
And if you acknowledge that, then you can focus on you can tell yourself like, okay, let's focus on the positive here. So I feel like obviously I think happiness probably is more heavily cultivated in an optimistic point of view because you literally are looking
100%.
for good things.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for good things, the likeliness that you will feel more content, satisfied with your life, I think is higher.
Only thing I'll add is if you feel like you are a pessimist or you feel like you're a realist, right? I feel like there's a lot of people that say, and you
I
say
used
this
to
all the
say that,
time,
yeah.
"I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist." Hey, no judgment. All right, hey, to each his own. Do your thing. But when those thoughts do come up, just think about why do I think that?
Hmm.
Hmm. Like why? Like there's no way I'll be able to create a board game. Why do you think that? There's no way I can go back to school and get a PhD. Why? Why do you think that? There's no way that I can reverse my diabetes or that I can lose 20 pounds, whatever it is. Why do you have that realism or negative thought? Go ahead, Queen.
I feel like it's a like a protection mechanism because
Possibly.
if I don't accomplish that, I didn't really think I could anyways. So I don't feel too much disappointment. I feel like it's to avoid that disappointment. Whereas if I say, no, I can
Mm,
do this, and then you don't, now that disappointment weighs in like, oh shoot, I've failed.
mhm.
Right? You have to sit in that. Whereas yeah, if you're kind of like, nah, it probably won't happen. I'll still like put some effort in, but it probably won't happen, then I think the idea is that like if it doesn't happen, then I'm not too hurt about it.
I think that may be the case for some people.
Mm,
I also think for others, and there's thousands of different reasons. So like literally that was a question for you to really think about. Like why is it for me? We can't give you the answer. We don't know your life unless you DM us, which you don't. But I think other folks may have lived through trauma, may have
mm,
been abused to where it's like they were raised to say, you can't do this. They
hmm.
were put into, school and educational systems where the teachers said, you're not smart,
Yeah.
or that you just got kicked out of class, whatever it is. And I feel like those messages sometimes repeat in our heads so much that we think they're our own message. We
Mm,
think that that's our own belief and our own thought because we've heard it so many times. And I think you said this before that our brain, like once we one what did you say? It's we can't determine what we. Oh man, I'm gonna mess up your own quote. Do you remember?
we can't
Like
determine.
our brain doesn't know what other people said versus what we said,
Oh,
something like that.
I don't remember. I'm not gonna remember the exact
Yeah.
quote, but I feel like, especially these days, there are so many opinions out there. It's hard
Mm,
for you to know what is an original, authentic thought
mm,
in your head versus something you just heard from somebody else that
mm.
you are embodying.
Gotcha.
And I feel like, especially today, with the world of social media, with just everybody's opinions everywhere, it's very hard to know. And I feel like I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but I feel like it came in when I was talking to my brother about Russ or something like that, and I was like,
Mm.
I like Russ, and he's like, well, people on Twitter say, and I'm like, I don't care what people on Twitter say, like this is my opinion,
Right.
and I feel like if you buy too much into other people's opinions, it becomes harder to know your own
Mm.
and your own voice.
Yes, major fact. That's why affirmations are very important. That's why being around positive, optimistic people who can pour into your cup are all important things to do. All right.
Yeah.
Up next, the last one on mindset is a individual mindset versus a collaborative mindset. Queen, talk to me.
So I feel like this one is a little bit. It's not quite black and white of like, and none of these are, but I feel like it's not necessarily that like this mindset can cultivate happiness versus this one can't.
Mm,
I feel like both of them can very much cultivate happiness. I like there's this one, I feel like goes a little bit more into personality.
mm,
Are you an introvert versus an extrovert? Because like that's literally how you get your energy source. So I may as an introvert, I probably need a little bit of time by myself to truly feel that energized, feel happy. Whereas someone who is an extrovert, they need to be around other people to be happy. So I feel like this one is a little bit different. Your work style, do you prefer to really work alone?
mm,
And yeah, I feel like it just is a little bit more different. Like you're a very collaborative person. I feel like in the world of business, collaboration usually leads to more diversity,
mm,
diversity of thought, diversity of backgrounds, and normally fosters more successful results.
mm.
But I do think that one can vary a little bit more.
Yeah. I got nothing to add on that. Collaboration is where I'm at.
Hey, that was good.
That was freestyle. It wasn't supposed to happen like that, to be honest with you. But I want to read a few things I found out interesting about mindset. And there's this research study done on the positive shift that literally your mind could have. And they just kind of tested different people and saw the different impacts that people had.
Hmm.
So, number one, this is gonna hurt some people. Spending time on Facebook makes us feel sad and lonely. Which I feel like is counterintuitive,
This.
right? 'Cause we go on social media to get connected, yet according to this research study, more people on Facebook and on social media in general are feeling more sad and lonely. Very, very interesting. Expensive brand name medicines provide better pain relief than the generic stuff,
This
even
one
if
bothers
they
me.
share the same ingredients.
This
It's
one.
placebo.
Right.
It's literally all mindset. They're the same ingredient. It's just like you can wear something, right? That's made of cotton, but if one has a Gucci logo, the other has a Play Black Wall Street logo, you're probably gonna feel more swagged out in the Play Black Wall Street logo.
Hey, I see what you did
you, you
there.
probably you probably gonna no, but in reality, you're gonna feel more probably swagged out in the Gucci because of the perception that Gucci has not only to you, but the perception that you think other people are gonna have of you because you're wearing something that has Gucci.
You got
And it doesn't even have to be
money.
real.
Right.
It could be some fake Gucci stuff, but you still gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you see the G's, bro, Gucci. Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. This is an interesting one. This will be my last one. No, I'll do this one. Patients in a hospital room with the view of nature recover faster from surgery than those without.
Yeah.
Again, perception. You can see the outside world. You can see life. You can see the future beyond the walls of the hospital. I think there's, a reason why most prisons don't have windows.
Mm.
So I think if you're in the hospital, your family members are in the hospital, and there are no windows, you have to kind of ask the same question: why are they there?
Mm. Ooh. It's a whole nother podcast, King.
Whole nother podcast. All right. But again, mindset is important. Literally, how you perceive the world and how you believe the world perceives you impacts how you feel about yourself, impacts how medicines
Mm.
affect you, impacts how fast you heal. So again, it's a choice, it's a mindset and happiness and wealth, and everything else. So hopefully y'all take the right choice.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
I want to finish off. You good there?
I'm good.
Okay. I feel like we always want to make this practical, right? Every time you
Always.
listen to an episode, hopefully you walk away with something that you can implement into your life to get you closer to living your best life.
Mm,
So I want to talk about how to cultivate happiness because we've been talking about how it's not a destination. It's not something that's going to happen to you. It's something that you need to choose to exude and to cultivate in your daily life.
mm,
So we have a graphic for that. We could show that, but I think one of the things that we already talked about, you already mentioned, was looking inward rather than looking outward
mm,
for happiness. So, like, look at what you do, look at who you are that makes you happy,
mm,
right? So, I think it's kind of tied to the last one there of living your purpose, but I think that if your mindset is in order to be happy, I need to do this, that, and the other thing, the likelihood that after you complete those things, you're going to be happy is low.
mm.
Why? Because if you're that type of person, you're going to reach this destination and then have three more goals that you're trying to accomplish.
All the time.
And then you're going to be like, oh, well, now I need to do this, this, and this to be happy. And
All
you're
the
going to be
time.
constantly chasing
Yeah.
this target that keeps moving. And then you're going to look back years later and be like, shoot, I've never actually I'm not happy and I haven't taken the time to cultivate that happiness.
Mhm.
So I think that it's important to look inward. If you have any expansion on that.
I mean, the only expansion that I have is more of an implosion.
Not the look.
Listen, we're nerd out over here, right? This is an implosion because I feel like personally, I feel like I've been getting a little bit better at this, but I need to do a better job at separating Devon's happiness from Devon's vision.
Mm,
Because I feel
explain
like
that.
my vision, and you know it in high definition 4K detail, Queen, is to rebuild and to do all these amazing things, which the board game is a part of, True Forever is a part of, Potluck is a part of, and yeah, I have this big vision, right? And in my head, when I accomplish this vision, I'm gonna feel something.
Hmm.
Now that I know the definition of happiness, it's not happiness.
Right.
It's gonna be a complete other level. I don't even know. It's going to be completeness, probably. It's going to be something crazy. But when this full vision is done, yeah, it's going to be great. Anyway, I've been struggling with prior to probably this year when I mess up on something or when the the momentum towards the vision isn't going as fast as I want, I don't feel happy.
Mm,
Right. And I feel like it's been a little bit of a shift I made literally this year, 2021, in separating my quote unquote successes, separating my ambitions from how I feel for about me. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's where my happiness is starting to now be rooted in, and that's why I do my affirmations. That's why I talk about my visions every morning. I feel like saying that I'm happy, I'm smart, I'm melanated, I'm beautiful. Like
Yeah.
saying those things, and what I'm saying, every morning makes me makes my cup overflow for my self happiness, no matter what obstacles may be coming outside. So I think I can definitely get a little bit better, right? But yeah, I think I've grown in that area.
I always remember something you said to me when we were kind of getting into the weeds with potluck. It's like, don't let the success of the business cloud how you see yourself and how you
Right.
feel about yourself. I feel like that's exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And it is hard to do that, especially as an entrepreneur, when like a business is like your baby, like you pour
Right.
so much energy. And I mean, for us too, we create very purposeful businesses. I feel like, no shade, but if we were just doing like a random drop shipping business,
Mm.
like that's a little bit different. But we create very purposeful businesses that we like, to us as people.
Mm.
And so I feel like there's a little bit of ourselves in each of our businesses. So then of course, when if it doesn't go the way you want it to, it hurts a little bit, right?
It feels like if people reject your business, they're rejecting you.
You right.
Right. And
Yeah,
you
that's
have to, yeah, you got to separate that because that can be extremely painful.
right.
Extremely painful. If every time you post on Instagram, on Facebook, you do these ads, whatever, and like, oh, they didn't buy. That means that they're not investing in me. No, it's completely
Yeah.
separate. And yeah, I feel like the Kickstarter, wow, that was obviously a big uppercut. Um, but yeah, I don't want. I feel like we can dive into a complete wormhole here, but I say that's something that definitely helped me out is what you said, separating your own identity from your business identity and realizing that if people don't support your business, that has nothing to do with them supporting you as a human being, as a person.
Right. And that you need to learn how to, again, cultivate that happiness, whether your business succeeds or not.
Mhm.
Right. So like I think this, and sorry, I don't want to dive too far into this, but think about even this pandemic we're in, right? A lot of businesses unfortunately have closed. And so as a business owner, obviously you should try to foolproof your business as much as possible so that doesn't happen. But in the event that it does, you need to make sure that that doesn't send you down some type of whirlwind, where you're questioning your self-worth and all those things. So yeah, so practical, right? Affirmations you talked about. I think
Mhm.
that that's a good way to practice looking inward. Um, I think, yeah, getting seeking help. I think, I have no shame saying that I have started seeing a therapist.
There you go.
And that helps me definitely look inward. But yeah, I think that those are all ways to try to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
The
Self
next
care,
one,
self love.
yep. The next one is practice optimism. And the reason why I put it as a practice is because unless you are naturally optimistic, it takes work. It does take work.
It takes work for me. I'm not naturally optimistic. Just so y'all know, I'm not over here throwing rainbows and flowers at people. Hey, it's gonna be a beautiful day. Ha ha ha. It's just I put in the work too, bro. You feel me? Oh yeah. That's how you gonna do me.
But it is practicing optimism so that it is, and it's one thing to talk about it when you're not in a situation where you need to do so,
Mm,
but it's actually putting in the work. So the next time something happens to you, it could be as simple as someone cutting you off in traffic.
mm,
um, Practice optimism. Well, they clearly had somewhere to go. I'm still here, didn't get in an accident, and I'm still going to make it to my destination safely and on time.
mm.
Period. Right? Rather than like, oh, this person.
Uh,
So I think, yeah, it's not difficult. Sorry, it's not easy, but I think that practicing optimism is something that you can practice um, on a regular basis so that you can learn to cultivate that happiness.
yes. Up next is show gratitude. This can also be a practice because I think it can be difficult for some people to say thank you.
Yeah.
Even when like they're out in a fast food restaurant, you're at Starbucks, you're at Cheesecake Factory, whatever it is, and I don't know, maybe I was just how I was raised. It's just you say thank you to
Right.
people, but you'd be surprised how many times I watch interactions, n- no gratitude is given. right? To people who are literally serving you.
Right.
So I would say show gratitude by simply saying, thank you to maybe one extra person you wouldn't have said thank you to, including your partner. Right. So thank you, Queen, for
Thank you.
cooking food. Thank you, Queen, for always organizing the travel, except for the amazing trip we took to Costa Rica. But other than that, thank you. But yeah, I feel like sometimes, especially in a marriage or in a relationship with your siblings, with your parents, things can go on autopilot.
Yeah.
These can get on automatic, and you just start expecting things, and it's like, oh yeah, they always cook dinner. They always take out the trash. They always plan the travel. So I don't need to say thank you. Like they're gonna do it. They like to do it. But no, still show gratitude because it shows work. Lastly,
Sorry, this is still on gratitude
yes,
for sure.
I would say show gratitude to yourself.
Mm,
Right. And this is, I think, crucial. It's kind of parallel to affirmations, but if you did something that was cool or that was good, beneficial to future you, and
yeah.
I do this because I'm weird. Like you can, say, thank you, Devon. I appreciate that. Or even like say thank you to the past you,
I do that. Yeah.
right? You like, hey, thank you, Sinclair, for being organized and really knowing that you needed to have this sticky note here at this exact
I'm gonna
time.
thank myself tomorrow for having that
Yeah,
package
FedEx,
pickup thing right
yes. Like
there.
thank yourself. And I feel like it's interesting that just saying thank you, like it's hard to be in a bad mood
Mm,
saying thank you.
right.
So I feel like words themselves can evoke emotion as
Right.
well.
And I think that the last thing I was going to say is not only to other people, but um, if you are, it doesn't have to be to any being in general or a being specifically. If you are religious and you pray, awesome. You probably already have some type of method where you're showing gratitude
Hmm.
to whatever deity you follow. But it can just be, universe. Like,
Hmm.
just thank you for me waking up today.
Mm.
Like it can be as simple as thank you for having hands.
Yep.
Thank you for being able to eat and taste delicious food.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
like there's so
Yeah.
much you can find in the mundane that I think that again, if you practice finding those things on a daily basis, it's going to be much easier to practice optimism. To again, just be happy in whatever situation you're in. Even if I'm sitting in traffic, I've been there for 3 hours.
Mm.
If I practice my daily affirmations, my gratitude on a daily basis, and that optimism. I put on a good radio station. Like I feel like in a traffic jam, you have a couple different people, right? You got the people
Hmm.
that are like, oh, like,
And
come
then
on,
they're trying.
right? Come
Let me
on.
try to go.
You got the people that are on social media, like, can't you believe this? Look at all of these
Yeah,
cars,
that's
right?
joy.
All right, and then you got the person that's probably you, that's either sitting there,
Chilling.
maybe talking to themselves, listening to a podcast, listen to some music, and just
Chilling.
like, hey, I'm alive, this is where we're at, and I'm gonna make the best out of it.
Mm.
So I think that showing gratitude in whatever form that you do it is important as well.
Yes. And last but not least, this is probably maybe the most difficult one, and it
Right.
may seem impractical, but it is find and live in your purpose. And I feel like when you find your purpose, you're gonna find what you love to do that makes you happy, and you can do it over and over again, get paid, not get paid, do it on the weekend, do it at night, do it during the day, do it in the Himalayan mountains, do it in the valley, do it in the ocean. You can just do this every time, and you just always have that amazing feeling. So I would say find what that is for you: drawing, writing, dancing, doing hair, video editing,
Doing
writing books,
lashes.
doing lashes, right? Like find what it is that you just love to do and is your passion, and yeah, dive into it as much as you can.
Right.
Mm.
And I think the hard part about this, and I think what he meant, but like it may not always be practical, is doing that regardless of what other people think about it.
Mm.
That's hard.
Yep.
That's again, and that's the looking inward again rather than outward, is because you may have this great job or whatever it is,
Hmm.
but it's like, no, I actually am really passionate about this. And I think that in society we tend to again equate like material things like money, like whatever,
Hmm.
into happiness, when really it's the idea that you get to wake up and do what you love every single day. Nothing beats that.
Mm.
There's no amount of money that can beat that. And I feel like if you would have told me, if you would have asked me a couple years ago, like, would you rather have a 6-figure, 7-figure job or like do something that you really love? I might have said the six-figure job because
You definitely want to say the six-figure job. I know. 3 years ago, Sinclair.
okay,
What?
so I would have said the seven-figure job, right? But if you ask me now, I'm like, I will take the pay cut.
Mm.
I will downsize. I will do whatever to be able to wake up and do what I want every single day. Because
Mm.
that's like that freedom.
Exactly. Do what you want.
I got to
Yeah.
answer to nobody. Like that's that freedom to really just live your life on your own terms.
Mm.
Like that is, yeah, whatever that next thing past happiness is, we got to find
You
that
gotta
word.
find it.
That's what that is.
Oh, I had something. Oh gosh. Okay, I
Okay.
forgot what that word was. It's like either grace or peace, maybe. There's something
Mm,
better, but tranquility, maybe.
mm.
But to your point, I feel like when you find something that you want to do and you live in your purpose, that doesn't mean that I mean, unless this is really your purpose, not doing nothing, just chilling, eating potato chips, and you're watching TV all day, unless that is really your purpose. And if it is, for sure, live that. But I think the beautiful part is you can find ways to monetize almost anything that you want to do or even or purpose.
Yep.
For example, even if you're the person that I just want to sit down and watch movies all day, beautiful, become a movie critic,
Right.
start a YouTube channel. Every time you watch a movie, show your reactions on how you're watching the movie, start writing blogs in the movie, and then all you're doing every single day is watching movies. I might change my career right now. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like, hold on, now we can monetize this. Why don't we do it? But yeah, I love the fact that you can literally take almost any action, any passion, any purpose that you might think of, and you can build a business out of it. So yeah, don't limit yourself. If you have a passion, if you have something that you love, dive into it.
Absolutely.
Queen, can you please, we'll wrap us up a little bit. Take us home again, giving folks why it's important to shift that mindset and choose happiness.
I think that it is important to choose happiness because, again, it's not something typically that is going to just fall in your lap, right? I'm not expecting happiness at the door tomorrow.
Mm,
It's something that you have to choose, you have to actively cultivate within your life. And at the end of the day, I think that that's really what we're all, I don't want to say chasing because I just said you shouldn't chase it, but
but we are
but we
chasing it.
are chasing it,
We
right?
are chasing it,
What
right?
we all are kind of here to do is to be happy and is to find that happiness.
Mm,
But yeah, I think that the really what you want to do is find it in your everyday life, find it in where you're at right now,
mm,
rather than making it something you have to attain.
mm.
I think that that's kind of the key, one of the key takeaways from today.
Love it. So if you're watching on the live or on the replay, go ahead and put one thing that made you happy today. And if you want to watch this, next week, watch it again next month. Hopefully, every time you come back and you rewatch it, you re-listen, you can find something new that you're happy for, that you're thankful for within your life. And I think if the more things that you can find, more things that you can, show gratitude for, then holistically, you're just going to be happy on a consistent basis because you're just always find new things.
I was happy that your car is washed.
You wash my car?
Yeah, I mean it's already washed. I don't think from last
Oh.
time we ran it through a car wash, but I just walked to the car from work and I was like, huh, look at this clean car.
Thanks. I watched your car today too.
Aw,
Hey, just trying to take care of my bride. Y'all, I'm just trying to take care of my bride.
thanks, babe.
Oh, yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you
No
for
problem.
washing my car today. I
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate you going above and beyond. Didn't even ask you to do that.
No problem. Pay me later. All right. Oh, but we appreciate y'all. We're gonna do some quick wrap ups on just like how our week was. It's
Week's
8 o'clock,
been.
y'all.
This is how
How's
it's
week's
been.
been? Busy, but Queen. Any highlights? Any highs, lows, gratitude you want to show for the week?
Yes, I want to show gratitude, although I just did it. More gratitude to you. Started this new system where, he sends me in the morning, sends me the list of things that, I got to do for the business. And that's helpful because sometimes I just have all these things in my brain. I got all these to-do lists in my brain and I haven't written down. And I feel like that now kind of triggers me to take that, make my own to-do list, add my own things onto it, and yeah, I just organized my life a little bit. So
Nice,
it has made me feel very productive this week.
nice.
Um, I mean that and other things, but I think yeah, that has definitely been something that I'm thankful for and I'm showing gratitude for today.
Nice. Well done, Quinn. I do appreciate you've been getting those done.
Thanks.
Yeah, do your thing. This week I got a lot of updates, but I'll keep it brief. One started BU, Breathe University. For those that listen to ET Eric Thomas, y'all know that we're huge supporters in almost every way that we can.
Way.
But finally got enlisted in Breathe University, which those calls are at 6 a.m. every single morning. So it forced me to get up early, but gets my day started. After the call, I'm able to go on my run or do anything else. And yeah, a lot of good support within there as well. Something that we also picked up from the BU community. I think this was from Uncle Ernie, who's going to come on in next week, next Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Married into Crazy. Yeah, they're gonna come on here. That's gonna be a funny one. But they're gonna come on here. He was like, set a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something else that we set up and we're gonna, stick to. We got 18 minutes before our
Our
TH4
office
shift
hour.
ends. So it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, our TH4 hours. And then on the weekends, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. our TH4 hours.
It doesn't necessarily mean we're actively working during all that time. That is when we can talk about or work on anything TH4 related.
Right. Because for those that know me, I can be a workaholic. And even like the other night I was like, oh, we gotta, and it was like 9:30, maybe even 10. I was like, it's after 8, Devon. Don't even say
it's happened a
anything.
few times this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been sitting on the couch for like pretty much every day this week. Like, all right, you got 15 minutes. What else you got?
Talk, just get it out. But that's been a really good system as well. Also started a new job, right?
Yes.
Hey. So yes, I am a entrepreneur building that stuff, and I've been working as an educator since 2016 for different universities, and that's been a blessing because I have been able to focus on multicultural enrollment. I have been able to focus on lately more African diaspora and African American enrollment, but it's still kind of limited to what I want to do and like just the creativity and the energy that I have. That it was kind of still stay in this box for the university. Now that I'm shifting over, I'm joining a nonprofit who is very focused on African centered pedagogy and training students and staff members and faculty, creating programs and literally the readings that they're having me read. I'm just like, I don't like to read, but I'm reading. I'm just like, okay, I can read some more. Okay, let me take some notes. Okay, I can use all this stuff. So yeah, again, living in your purpose doesn't always have to be you only doing a business or entrepreneurship. It can also be finding a job or finding a group of people that already are supporting what you're passionate in. So yeah, I think I like this new job so far. It's definitely giving me some energy and new things to think about for IMI, for Playback Wall Street, for TH4. Um, we spent like 20 minutes today talking about natural ways to uh, what's it called, rectify migraines.
Nice.
Right. And it was a lot of stuff that you would probably say anyway. It was like smoothies, exercise, but like
Water with salt.
water with salt did not come up
I guess
actually.
that's more headaches, but I imagine it probably is.
Yeah, but it was interesting because it's like, yeah, like literally, I'm able to talk. We talk about locks. Let's like, we're just able to just like talk about stuff in the environment that usually is not really an open environment to talk in. So
Right.
it's been dope. But it's still, yeah, it's a lot of time though, but it's been dope. Queen,
Yes.
you good?
Great.
Yes, you are. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. All right. So again, in the comments, go ahead and put at least one thing that makes you happy. We appreciate y'all. We hope the True of Her podcast is something that you look forward to every week, every day, and it does make you happy. If not, well, I'm sorry. I mean, keep listening. We'll get better. I don't know what to tell you. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. Again, I'm Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka
The Health Nerd.
Don't forget to tune in next week for a very entertaining one. We won't disappoint.
Indeed. We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.